Welcome to Our College Your Voices. I'm your host, Kara Monroe. Ivy Tech partnered with LinkedIn Learning in April of 2020 to offer students, faculty, and staff access to the entire LinkedIn Learning library of courses. With me today are three of the folks who were involved in rolling this out to students, faculty, and staff to tell us a little more about this important opportunity. Let's meet them. First up is Dom Chase. Hi, Dom.
Hello.
How are you today?
Doing well, thank you. Excited to be here.
Good. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do at the college.
I serve as Vice President of Finance and Strategic Sourcing, which includes procurement, accounting, grants management, and financial aid.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us, Dom. And next up is Corey Klossman-Ryan. Hey, Corey.
Good morning, Kara. I am the Vice President for Student Success in Systems Office.
Excellent. Good to have you. And last but not least is Trent Hawker. Hi, Trent.
Hi, Kara. I'm Trent Hawker. I'm the Assistant Director of Talent Development here in Systems Office.
Excellent. Welcome back to the show. I think to all of you. Well, welcome back to everybody. So I've just got a few questions to go through as we think about the LinkedIn Learning opportunity. We added it as an option for students, faculty, and staff just after we closed our buildings because of COVID-19. Can you talk a little bit more about how this partnership began?
Yeah, I can start there. I think we were looking for something that would help our staff and potentially our students, which it turns out that it did, during this time period when there was a disruption to their day-to-day responsibilities. They could fill in with a great opportunity here with LinkedIn to kind of work on some skills that maybe they had in mind, some professional development. And LinkedIn Learning was a great opportunity, a great fit. It has a number of options for anything you can think of in terms of if you want to learn more about something, they've got a video for it.
Outstanding. And I know I've taken the opportunity to look around at the resource. There's a lot out there. But could you guys talk about, from your perspective, what are some of the types of things that you can learn on their platform for students, faculty, and staff?
Yeah, I can go ahead and take that. There's over 5,000 courses within LinkedIn Learning. So like Dom said, just about anything you can think of, you can find a course for it. There are skills for things to like enhance teaching practices, leadership and supervisory skills, as well as training on specific pieces of technology. My team calls me the Excel nerd, and I've found a few courses there for myself in that. And there are also different subject matter areas that may be relevant to faculty teaching specific pieces of content. And there are also personal growth and wellness offerings within the system, things like time management, personal finances and budgeting, which could be important, and as well as things like mindfulness practices and those types of things.
I did look this morning, and our top learning class is titled The 6 Morning Habits of High Performers was number 1, and Improving Listening Skills was number 2. And there's been a lot of different courses accessed, but in the last 90 days, there have been 47,000 videos completed at Ivy Tech and over 6,000 courses viewed.
That's awesome. Can we tell, Dom, by those statistics, what the distribution is? I think if I remember correctly, we can't because it's all by email address, but is there any way to tell that?
We're working on potentially doing that after the fact, but you're right, because it's just looking at the @ivytech.edu domain. Everyone's kind of lumped into one bucket, but we could potentially take those email addresses and get some insights from that data at a later time.
That's awesome, though, that folks are already using it that well. That's fantastic. That's great. One of the things I like about it, I've played around with the platform some, and you can actually, once you complete a course, you can add it right to your LinkedIn profile if you want to, too, which gives you that marketability immediately, which I love. So we don't usually have students listening to the podcast, but I know some of our faculty and staff like to share podcast episodes that are relevant to them with them. So if we do have students who hear the episode, which we love when they do, how do they access LinkedIn Learning?
So it's available through My Ivy, just like it is for faculty and staff as well. For students, if you click on the student link on the far left-hand side and click on the student dashboard, it's the second to the last option that says LinkedIn Learning, and you can go in there and you have access to all the same resources that all of our faculty and staff do as well. So the entire library is open to you as a student. There's also kind of leads into, it's a great point though, talking about faculty and staff. If there are materials that you think in your course, particularly for faculty, that you think would be great for students, you can add it, as the link through Ivy Learn. Use it as supplemental material to help students as well. So it can be professional development for them, but it really can be something to help supplement what it is that you're doing inside the classroom as well. So all students have access to it.
And what about faculty and staff? How do they access LinkedIn Learning?
So for our faculty and staff, very much like Corey said, you can also log in through My Ivy. So on the employee dashboard, there's a link to LinkedIn Learning under the employee tools section. And if you also have a LinkedIn account, you can link that account with that username and password so you can kind of sync up both of your LinkedIn accounts.
Yeah, I see that learning icon in the top right on LinkedIn now that I've synced up my two accounts, so I can just access it right from there, which is nice.
Exactly.
Awesome. So what are the next steps for LinkedIn Learning at Ivy Tech? The contract initially is a year, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. And we're evaluating the usage. As I just mentioned, that we have great analytics through the platform that we can see. So we encourage everyone to use it, because if it is something that people find valuable, there could be potential long-term use of it. And another thing that we are working on as well is course pathways, where instructors can design a basket of courses that a student would go through in an order that they define. And then ultimately they would receive the certificate for that course pathway. So that's something we're exploring with LinkedIn right now also.
Fantastic.
I just want to add, there's no limit to the amount of LinkedIn Learning courses you can take. So from especially a talent development perspective, we really encourage our Ivy Tech community to take as many courses as fit in with their areas of interest, or maybe even working with your supervisor on an individual development plan to determine areas of growth and finding some LinkedIn courses that could aid in that professional development, as well as sharing them, like you said, Kara, with your LinkedIn network. That's a great tool for networking and paying your learning forward.
And it's the LinkedIn Learning, like the full license, if I was getting it on my own, is somewhere between $25 and $35 a month. So when you think about the benefit we're giving to faculty and staff and students, it's pretty enormous to have that resource available to folks. So definitely something to take advantage of. That way, maybe we'll keep it too for past this year. So very good. Anything else to put in today's episode?
I'm just amazed at just how many things are in there. If you just go searching, there is something for just about every interest in professional development area. So it's worth just playing around in there if people haven't been in there yet, just to see what might be of interest to you, because it's vast.
Absolutely. Every episode, as you know, ends with a call to action. You've probably already guessed what today's call to action is, and that is check out LinkedIn Learning. For students, for faculty and staff, make sure that you either go through My Ivy, or if you're a faculty member and you want to put that link in Ivy Learn, definitely do that for your students. And I will just give you a quick tip. As you're thinking about LinkedIn Learning, you can actually change the speed that you're listening to the videos at. I like to go at like 1.25 times the speed. It's the little cog wheel over on the right-hand side of most videos. And I'll put some instructions specifically on how to do that in the show notes if you've not done that before. So thanks again to everybody for joining this episode of Our College, Your Voices. I want to thank the members of today's panel, Dom Chase, Corey Klossman-Ryan, and Trent Hawker. Thank you all very much for joining. I'm your host, Kara Monroe. You can connect with me on Twitter at KNM Tweets. You can reach out to us by email at ourcollegeyourvoices@ivytech.edu. Leave us a voicemail at 317-572-5049. Don't forget, if you're an Ivy Tech faculty or staff member, you can join our Microsoft Teams listener community. I send instructions on how to do that every Thursday in the Thursday update email. Our website, which was recently redesigned by our marketing team, is www.ivytech.edu/podcast. Production assistance for this and every episode provided by Becky Campbell, Sarah Ferguson, and the Ivy Tech Community College marketing team. And our podcast concept is by Matthew Pittman. Theme music and post-production services provided by Jen Eads at the Brassy Broadcasting Company. And we will talk to you next time on Our College, Your Voices.